for the past 2 weeks, you are looking into string function, date function, number function, and logical. So this week I have this type, aggregate, and user functions to cover, and also I have some couple of visualization made in Tableau. So should I start with functions or visualization?
Call is yours.
Okay, then let me start. Yeah, okay. Then let me start with the functions. Let me start with the type function, type conversion. So these type conversion functions are basically used to convert the string to integer or like whichever type we need. And also we can convert any string into data, as we have already seen isDate function, which will say whether the given format is date or not the string. So here we have date function which converts the string into date. So date function is basically used to convert whether input is string or number or date, whichever, it will convert into the form of date. That's the use of date function. Similar to date function, we have datetime function, which converts the given integer as date as well as time, like both date time, provided we have given the right values as inputs. If it is null, that not the right values or inputs for the date format and time, then it will show null or some error. Date parse, this function is used to convert the format in whichever you want. We can give the format whichever you want as given here, like dd.mmm in so and so, like whichever way we want. So based on the format whichever you have given, we will be able to see the date function. So this is basically like earlier, this date function will give the date as per the input whichever we gave. Here we can, though we have input in different order, if we want the output of the date as specific order, we can just use this date parse function so that we can give the format in whichever we want, so we can get the output in the format of whichever we have given input. Okay, so that's the use of date parse function. Next we have float function. As everyone knows, float function will give the number of decimals whichever you want. So also we can use the float function, and we can just also edit in Tableau by using the format option how many number of decimal places we would like to view. That's the use of float function.
So Jairam, just a quick question. So what's the main benefit of parse, date parse? So does it basically extract some sort of hours or minutes or seconds out of it, or what exactly does it do?
This
why
date
would
parse
people
function,
want to use it?
Yeah, so for example here the input is 15 April 2004, which you can see. And we have given the date parse format as ddmmyy. That's why the output is like the output will be in the form of whichever we expect actually.
Got it. So date is in some different format. You just give the format of it in the function, so that way it will extract the right stuff out. That's the main function, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think this is the main problem. Many times we'll have to just figure it out and write functions in order to extract date out, because it's in some weird format. Okay, now you can directly give the format and it will get the output that you want.
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
This is nice. I love it. Okay.
And we have seen float and int. Now string function. So str, like whatever is irrespective of integer, whichever you want in string format, just we can use str and the field whichever you would like to view in string format. So that in that case we can see whichever field, we can just see them in the format of string. Yeah, these are the major type conversion functions which we have seen. And next we will move on to aggregate function. So aggregate function, like as all of us will be aware about, like sum, all those, there are some other function other than those which is there in aggregate function. So let's see what all functions are there. So first one, attr, this is the most important and like function, because in most case, for example, maybe I will explain this function with an example so it will be easy to understand. So for example, now we are writing if sum of sales is greater than 800,000. Then category. So now what happens is it will show error. Like as in W, there is a it will consider as error. Here we have used sale as aggregate in terms of sum, but in category also, like we are supposed to use only aggregate. So there is a rule, like if we use one aggregate field in the calculation whichever we are using, we are supposed to make all other as aggregation, or either like in a calculated field whichever terms you use, either all should be aggregated or disaggregated. So as you see here, it's showing if sum of sales we have used, but how do we make the categories as aggregation? Sum, max, min. We can use max, but like how to just replace this error or debug this error? The only way is to use the ATTR function. So once if we use this, so though the field, we will aggregate the field by using the ATTR function. So now no error will be shown. So basically, some places we can use aggregation directly. Some place we got stuck, like we don't know which aggregation to use, or we want to use that field, then we can go with the ATTR function. So it will aggregate, and we won't have any error, and we can use this ATTR function. So basically, ATTR function is used to make the field aggregate when there is a need. For example, if other fields are aggregated on one field, it's not aggregate. How to aggregate in that case? In that case, we have to go with the ATTR function, so it will automatically aggregate, and we won't get any error or something the calculated field whichever we have made. So this is the use of ATTR function, and we will use this function in couple of places, to remove the error. Next, we have any queries regarding ATTR function?
So what does it stand for? Attribute, is it ATTR?
Yeah, attribute. Yeah.
Okay.
So
got it.
Yeah.
Please.
Next we have average. Average is the average of all given expression. And the collect function that aggregate all the functions in the spatial terms. I mean, like some latitude, longitude, or something related to the spatial coordinates. In that case, we use collect. Most of the cases, like I haven't used collect function in the project or something. Yeah. Next, we have correlation function. This correlation function, what it does is it returns the correlation coefficient of two expressions. Maybe if we use this two a correlation, then two expression like two terms, it will return two variables ranging from -1 to 1. One in the sense when it is like exact linear relationship, it will return 1, and when it is like no linear relationship, it will return 0, and -1 it will return in case of negative relationship. These three are the only value. Out of this, we can't expect any decimal or some other relation coefficient except -1, 1, 0. 1 it will return when it is linear, 0 when it is like other, and -1 when it is exact negative. Also, this function is not available for all the data sources which are used. This function is related only to all this data source, like whichever is given here. Only for this data source we can use this correlation function. Yeah. Next we have count.
So just scroll up a little bit one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Surprising. So, I don't see. Yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of databases are not listed there, but the first point, the Tableau data extract. So if you're working, let's say on Microsoft SQL, that if you don't see that database listed over here, but when you're working on Microsoft SQL, you can simply extract, and it will be considered as the first point, Tableau data extract. So you can use correlation function.
Okay.
So which means that, so for example, you don't, so when we use live, we cannot use it, right? That's what it means.
Yes, and I think there are a lot of other functionalities where when you're on live connection, you can't use, but when you come to data extract, they come available.
Okay.
So Jagdish, once we extract the data and if we use the field again, if we change the data to live, will that show any error or something?
I think it should not show any error, but it's better to. I think it will not show any error when you use it and.
So the outcome, like for using this function in live, is we have to make extract, we have to use, and again you have to make it live. In that way, you can use all these functions.
Yeah. Or else if it's showing an error, in that case what you can do is you can keep it as an extract and keep the frequency of refresh extracts maybe like once a 2 hours or once 1 hour, so that it's almost equivalent to live data depending upon the case or the data that you're working with.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. So next we have count. This count, what it does is like how many our records are there in our data source. It will count based on the expression we give. And count distinct, what it does is count will count like though if, for example, sometimes market will be repeated twice in different record, that will be counted in count. In order to remove that thing, we have count distinct, which will count only the distinct. For example, in our data source, we have 30 or 32 market which has repeated along for maybe like months or years. If we use the count distinct function, it will show the count of only the distinct markets which is available in our data source. Next, similar to correlation, we have other function covariance. What it does is like it will give the covariance between the two data sources whichever we have, and here we have n-. Currently, like I don't have much idea about where this covariance will be used and all. So similar to correlation, we have covariation, and those can be used only in some of the data sources which is displayed here. And also, I think we can use in this in all data source by using them as extract and making them live again.
Okay.
Similar to covariance, we have covariation P, which returns the population of covariance of two expressions. So how two variables change together? Okay.
So some of these I think Jagdish can cover, which are more statistical in nature. Jagdish, what do you say? You can take that up later, maybe.
Yeah.
Not necessarily right now. So once you take a look at them. So I think all the statistical ones you can skip them.
Okay.
Jairam, okay. Yeah.
So we have max, which returns the maximum of expression across all the records, and median, which we also know like median. It returns the median of the term whichever we use. And minimum, similar to maximum, we have minimum, which returns the minimum of an expression. Also, we can, like for example, we want to use the minimum at particular level, then we can go for LOD. So for example, if for a particular market, we will for in a market level, if you would like to use if you would like to view minimum sales, so in that case we can use fixed market sum of sales. So based on the market level, it will show the minimum sales or something. So minimum maximum like will be used more with LOD rather than in a visualization level or record level, because if you use in record level, when it get executed at each row level, that will be the minimum or maximum in that case. So minimum and maximum can be used more in an LOD rather than using in a row level. So next we have sum returns the sum of all the value, which is like straightforward, and this. So